This is an absolute privilege for me and a pleasure too, I'll tell you that. I've known this gentleman for almost a couple decades now. We've worked together on the ships a long, long time. I adore his comedy. He's a great guy. You may have seen him up and down your comedy dial. He has no shorter than 5 comedy albums, one of which was Apple iTunes comedy album of the #1 selling album of the week for 3 straight weeks. But none of that matters. He's here for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stage, my good friend Jim David. Jim!
Hey, how about another hand for Phil Palisol? Give him a hand. Oh my gosh, you guys are a good crowd. I'm glad to be here. I've been a proud Royal Caribbean since 2003, off and on. And I'm always happy when Royal uses me because they always take care of my travel. Because I can't stand making a plane reservation anymore, especially on the phone, right? Hi, I'd like some information before we begin. What is your final destination? Barcelona. I think you said Phoenix. Is that right? No. I'm sorry, I didn't quite get that. What is your final destination? Barcelona. Checking flights for Seoul, South Korea. No! What is... No! Did you... No! We seem to have a problem. Agent! 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 Checking flights for Agent, North Dakota. Shut up! I'm gonna kill you! I'm gonna rub your face in a gravel driveway. Just get me an agent! Ah! I'm sorry, I didn't quite get that. What is your final destination? Your face! Because when I find it, I'm gonna bash it in! I think you said Barcelona. You can't deal with anybody on the phone anymore, you know? And I love how these politicians talk about how illegal immigrants are coming to America to take away our jobs. Oh, you mean like the jobs that have already gone overseas? Like I had to call American Apparel recently because I ordered some jeans online. American is in the title. Who did I get on the phone? India, yes. Thank you for calling American Apparel. How may I help you today? My name is Bob. I got disconnected and I called back. I said I was talking to Bob. And the guy said, we are all Bob. I make fun, but I really admire all the people who speak more than one language, especially the crew on this ship. They speak 2, 3, 4, 5 languages, all of them. Yeah, how about a hand for them? I mean, Americans, we do not. I mean, right? What do Americans do when we go to a foreign country? We yell. You know, we go to France and we say, "Où est la Eiffel Tower? Où est la building avec le restaurant sur le top of the hill?" Don't you speak English? They're all foreigners here. Yeah, we think that if we do it slower and louder, it'll work. I mean, that's great for sex, not for foreign language. I mean, can you imagine somebody from Thailand coming to America and trying that on us? Ching Tao! May I plum? Chapai Hong Nam! Hong Nam! But it's terrible on the phone. I called my credit card company. I don't know what country I got. Hi, I've got a problem with a charge on my statement. I have a problem with a charge. Could you get me somebody who speaks English, please? What is this, the cantina in Star Wars? Where am I? So the only time you get a real person is if you call 911. Can you imagine if 911 was like an 800 number? Thank you for calling 911. If this is a robbery, press 1. If this is a heart attack, press 2. If you are being mugged, press the number of people who are mugging you, followed by the pound sign. Oh my gosh, you're great. My name is Jim. My Christian name is James. My Jewish name is Rochmael. My Latino name is Jaime Jose Luis Conchito Mendoza Pendejo Sin Vergüenza Carajo Maricón. My Indian name is Dances with Difficulty. My rap name is Notorious F.A.G. Thank you to the people that got that. My drag name is Delta Variant. Oh, you're a wonderful, you're so much better than a crowd we had in here last night. Man, that was like performing in a hospice. I don't know what was going on. They weren't dying, they were dead. They just brought corpses in here. And it was like a shuttle from a Spanish nursing home had arrived. Old people, God bless them, old people. Instead of laughs, I heard, what? 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 Who? Maury, I don't understand. What's he talking about? What? Who? Hey, look, you know what? We just make fun of older people because we're afraid of what it's going to be like when we get there, right? I was talking to a 90-year-old woman and I said, do you know how to work an iPhone? And she said, do you know how to churn butter? No, then shut up. I'm not going to tell you how old I am. Let's just say it's somewhere between 30 and a Walmart greeter. Welcome to Walmart. Welcome to Why does Walmart have a greeter? I don't want anybody to see me walking into Walmart. I mean, is somebody sitting outside in the parking lot going, honey, maybe we shouldn't go in there. What if we're not welcome? Costco has a greeter too, right? I went into a Costco and I said, I'll buy a few things. Spent $784. But I saved a lot of money. You know, you walk through the aisles of that store and you go, maybe I could use a 50-pound jar of paprika. I got 37 chicken breasts for $9.95. Just because I could. I got 7 gallons of cranberry juice. I feel like I ought to get a urinary tract infection just to justify the purchase. And I got a Guatemalan baby. I did. They want me to take all 5 in the box, but I just took little Fernando. No, I'm kidding. I don't have any kids, and I see the kids on these ships, and I know I made the right decision. Oh my God. The little ones running through the hall, they're like mice. You know, I'm like, get the fuck away. I don't know how we can stay. I saw this little 5-year-old boy holding onto his dad up in the restaurant, and the kid was going, Daddy! Daddy! And I just wanted to look at him and say, you're 5. What the hell do you have to complain about? Wait till you have your first colonoscopy. Wait till your wife leaves you for another woman. Wait till your hard drive crashes and you lose all your porn. Wait till that happens. Oh, you remember this one? Wait till the day you have to look at porn wearing your reading glasses. That's a sad day. Remember that? I remember this one. Wait till you're in the middle of masturbating and you just lose interest. Has that ever happened? Right? You know what I mean? You're just like, it's too much trouble. I can't. It's too much. I can't. How many of you, by applause, this is your first time on this class of ship before? Your first time. Yeah? What do you think? It's quite amazing, isn't it? I've done a lot of the maiden voyages for Royal Caribbean. I've had that privilege. I've done the maiden voyages for basically all 5 of these Oasis. Didn't do the Utopia, that's a new one. But I've done Oasis, Allure, Harmony, Symphony, and Wonder, the maiden voyages. And the hardest one was the Harmony because that was out of England. Is anybody here from England? Yeah. Okay, all right. I love your people, but as an audience, no. No. Because the Harmony was out of Southampton, England, and the whole crowd was British, and this is how the men laugh. That's it. And the women are like, oh. So it was, and they got offended at everything. Like I told a dirty joke and this woman sitting right up front said, how horribly rude. And I said, well, at least my ancestors had the wherewithal to leave your pasty-faced island 400 years ago to form a more perfect union in the new world. And then this man said, you simply cannot talk to the Queen in this manner. the first time I saw one of these ships was I did the maiden voyage of the Oasis in 2009. And nobody had ever seen this class of ship before, right? And this guy was walking along the promenade on the first day, and he looked around and he said, "Man, this ship is a motherfucker." And I thought, what a brilliant marketing opportunity for Royal Caribbean, right? Name the next ship Motherfucker of the Sea. You'd all book it just to impress your friends. What, you're on the Princess? I'm on the Motherfucker. Samuel L. Jackson could be the cruise director. All right, you motherfuckers, sit your ass down and watch the goddamn Wash Your Hands video. And all you diamond and platinum and cubic zirconium motherfuckers who think you own the ship because you've cruised 38 times, fuck you. Buy me a drink with all your points, bitch. I hope I don't offend anyone, but if I do, I don't care. You know, it's a little late in the day to get offended by anything a comedian says, you know, and everybody needs to just lighten up. Life is short. These are jokes. But you know what? You never know. People are always getting offended at something. And I've been doing comedy since 1986, and the first time I was ever on a national radio show, I've been doing comedy for about a year, and I'm originally from North Carolina. That's where I was born and raised, and so that's pretty much what I joked about. And I got on this radio show, and I said, North Carolina is 45th in education. Did you see the Miss America pageant? For her talent, Miss North Carolina wrote her name. Incorrectly. And I thought, who's going to get offended at that? Well, I got my first hate mail. This is verbatim. This guy wrote me through my website. And he wrote me, he said this: "Dear Mr. David, I am a proud North Carolinian. We are not stupid, and you are the most unfunniest comedian I've ever heard. For your information, we are not 45th in education. We are 38th. Which is at least better than 8 other states." Yeah, there's more. "The best comedians have originality, humor, and heart, both of which you are completely lacking." And I thought, how could I not respond to this, right? So I wrote him back and I said, "Dear sir and or madam, alas, you are correct. I'm not funny and nobody likes me. So therefore, I have decided to kill myself. I would suggest you learn by my example." Thank you all for being for not being on your phones during the show. This is one of the hardest things right now. In addition to people getting offended, one of the hardest things is doing comedy is people just sitting on their phones right in the front in the audience. Like, people can't get away from it for a second. You know, I gotta go on Facebook. I gotta send a text. I gotta send an email. I gotta go on Facebook has gotten totally out of hand. It's everywhere. I was in a Walgreens drugstore, and there was a sign in the window that said, "Follow us on Facebook." Ooh, I can't wait to go on Facebook and see what's up at Walgreens. There's a sale on tampons. Oh my God. People are texting so much. One of these days, you're going to be in the middle of sex and you get a text that says, "Move your leg." I'm convinced the only way to teach kids American history is to put it on this thing, then maybe they'd read it, right? In 1776, Congress signed the Declaration. LOL. I was riding my bike in New York and I hit a woman who was texting while walking. Had to go 2 blocks out of my way, but I got her. Hey, how great is the crew? How great is the crew on this ship? Aren't they incredible? They've been working hard for you all week. You know, the crew is here for 6 to 8 months without one day off. right? And they do it without stabbing one of you. I don't know how they do it. I mean, how nice are your waiters, right? Could I have some more pasta? It would be my pleasure. Gosh, can you imagine if I was your waiter? No. Could I have some more pasta? Nope, you're too fat. No, you cannot. No. There's a salad bar over there. Try a radish for once in your life. For God's sake. You look like you have a bounty on Captain Solo. That was a reference to Jabba the Hutt from Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. See, that's why that's funny. Because you were staring at me like I'm the automatic ball returner. And how nice are your stateroom attendants, right? How great are those guys? Oh my God. Good morning, sir. How are you, sir? Can I clean up your ship now? Gosh, if I was your stateroom attendant, what the hell is this? What do you do? Shit on the floor and wipe your ass on the curtain? What do you think this is? Carnival? What? Oh, come on. Like it's my fault Carnival's a floating mobile home. It is not my fault. That is a ghetto cruise line. Ghetto. Walmart on the water. That is what... Well, you know what? Let me tell you something. This crew is really incredible. And if you have a complaint, make sure that it's worth complaining about, because this crew has heard it all. I mean, I was standing at the front desk, and it was on the maiden voyage of Oasis. The first time I was on this, nobody had ever seen this kind of ship. Lady goes up to the front desk and she says, "The hallways are too long." But the girl behind the counter was a genius. She said, "I will speak to maintenance." Chances are, about 100%, if you make a really stupid complaint, the office will send it to me. Because I've collected these things over the years. These are all totally real. People have written them down. Either guest relations gave them to me or cruise directors did, but these are all legit. I couldn't make this up. Somebody said, "The weather was better on Princess." Maybe. My son liked the dancers in the show way too much, and I don't want him to be gay. I'd say that ship has sailed. The beach was too sandy. Who are these people? The sushi wasn't cooked. Oh, somebody called down to the front desk and said, verbatim, "My mattress needs to be replaced. It's so hard that I can't sleep, but don't do it before 10 a.m. because I'll be asleep." Okay, this guy has what are known as luxury problems, right? The lines on the daily Sudoku are not dark enough. I have been to guest relations 3 times about this situation. See, suddenly we have a situation. Israel and Gaza, that is a situation, not the daily Sudoku. Too many ethnic types on the ship. Yeah. Does the Philippines have anyone left in the entire country? There are 2 responses to that. Too bad and no they don't. They're all here. Too many old people on the ship. Right. There should be a cruise for under 35 only. There is. It's called Disney. Go on that. Actually, you know, you have to give a shout out to our senior cruisers because they're the ones that come back again and again and again and again. And they keep the place running, so God bless them. You know, yep. Fat people should have their own elevators. What happened? Okay, this tells a story. There were too many girls wearing skimpy bikinis, and my wife yelled at me. Okay, this happened, you know, like before we got into the rooms on the first day, this guy went up to the front desk and he said, "Could you please make sure that our balcony is not below the water line?" Can you imagine opening the front door? Don't open the fucking window! Somebody complained about me. They said, "My jaw hurt from laughing at Jim David. Hire someone less funny." Wouldn't that be hilarious outside the mediocre comedy? People on the cruise don't look like the people in the brochures. Well, if they did, no one would come. Okay, this is the single stupidest thing I've ever read. Do you have a cruise that goes to Colorado? I have friends there. See, there's no ocean around Colorado, see? That's why that's funny. Thank you, everybody. You've been a great crowd. Thank you very much.